The shuttle cut through the atmosphere of Hern 9, leaving trails of plasma across its pale sky. Below, the world glittered with titanium spires and floating cities tethered to the planet's molten surface by gravity anchors. It was here, on one of the safest and most advanced planets in the Galactic Concord, that the elite combat academy stood. A place where only the strongest beings from across known space were trained for interstellar defense. When the shuttle landed, the cadets stepped out. Soldiers, synthetics, psionics, and enhanced warriors from dozens of species. But among them was one girl who didn't belong. She was human. Or at least she looked like one. Her name, according to the manifest, was Astra Kale from Viri 4, known to the rest of the galaxy as Deathworld 12. Deathworlds were planets so hostile that most civilizations simply quarantined them. They were places of perpetual storms, flesh-eating fauna, toxic ecosystems, and gravity that crushed unshielded craft. Few who were born there lived past childhood. Those who did were different. Astra stepped off the ramp quietly. She wore the same white and silver cadet uniform as everyone else, though it looked slightly loose around her thin shoulders. Her dark hair was bound back neatly, and her eyes, gray, almost metallic, seemed to take in everything without expression. The others whispered, "A Deathworlder. Here. I heard they can survive vacuum for a minute." "No, they're just savages." The Concord probably admitted her as a joke. But Astra said nothing. She only bowed her head and followed the line toward the assembly square. The silent trainee. The academy prided itself on unity through competition. Every day was a test. Combat, psionics, tactical planning, and survival simulations. Instructors monitored everything, analyzing reaction time, neural stability, and synchronization with adaptive exosuits. Astra consistently placed last in every public ranking. She barely spoke. She didn't spar, didn't argue, didn't engage in social drills. When asked to run, she jogged slowly, eyes downcast. When assigned a psionics test, she failed to register even minimal energy output. She didn't join study groups, didn't share quarters with anyone, and refused to modify her uniform with personalized armor plates, as most cadets did. By the second month, her reputation was sealed. The silent girl of Class Omega. The strongest cadet of that year. Commander Traxus Vorn, a towering half-Krylon hybrid with obsidian skin and eyes that burned like plasma, mocked her openly. "You're wasting air, Deathworlder," he said during a strategy simulation. "You can't even control your pulse rate under pressure." Astra didn't respond. He sneered. "Maybe your kind are only good at running from predators." Even the instructors started to question why she had been admitted. Her psych reports were locked under high-level clearance. All they knew was that the Concord had specifically requested her placement. Curiosity. Mistake, perhaps. The mid-year trials. The Academy's mid-year trials were legendary. The top 50 cadets competed in ranked duels broadcast across the campus. Victory meant prestige. Loss could mean reassignment to lesser divisions. When Astra's name appeared on the bracket, most laughed, until they saw her opponent, Traxus Vorn, the undefeated champion. The duel would be the final match of the trials, a spectacle meant to showcase the Academy's best. Betting pools opened. Odds favored Vorn by a margin of 99.8%. Vorn himself grinned when he saw the pairing. "Perfect," he said to his squad mates. "I'll end this farce in one hit. Let's see what a Deathworlder looks like broken." The arena. The arena was a kilometer-wide dome of transparent alloy, surrounded by hovering spectator drones. Holographic projectors shimmered to life, casting the combatants' profiles into the air. The audience, hundreds of cadets, officers, and visiting generals, filled the observation decks. Astra entered first. No armor. No weapon. Bare hands. Bare feet. Her opponent arrived in full exosuit, an adaptive shell that magnified his strength 100-fold. His plasma blade hummed as he tested its edge. The match began. Traxus moved like a thunderclap. The arena floor cracked beneath each step as he launched himself forward, blade arcing through the air. Astra did not move. The blade stopped an inch from her throat. The crowd gasped, not because of her speed, but because she hadn't even tried to dodge. Traxus blinked, confused. His blade trembled, unable to advance further. He tried again. Nothing. It was as though the space between them had hardened. A faint ripple of air distorted around Astra's body, like heat over sand. Traxus snarled and swung again, faster. Sparks exploded against invisible pressure. His sensors spiked. Gravitational interference, magnetic distortion, quantum field fluctuation, all emanating from the girl's body. She blinked once, expression unchanged. And then Traxus was flung backward, slammed against the arena wall with such force that the alloy dented inward. The crowd fell silent. The girl still hadn't moved. The Deathworlder secret. In the observation deck, General Corvin of the Concord leaned forward. "Activate telemetry," he ordered. The readings came in impossible gravitational densities surrounding the girl, localized within a meter radius. She wasn't emitting energy. She was consuming it. Dr. Saline, the Academy's chief scientist, whispered, "That's impossible. No human can generate that kind of gravitational field." "Not generate," Corvin said grimly. "She's evolved in it." On Deathworld 12, gravity was 9 times standard. The ecosystem was so dense that motion itself required extreme adaptation. Over generations, the survivors' nervous systems rewired to operate under immense pressure. Their muscles, cells, and even their quantum fields of perception had evolved to manipulate local gravity unconsciously, to lessen the strain of their own world. Here on a low-gravity planet like Hellion 9, that adaptation inverted. The field no longer restrained, it dominated. Astra didn't even understand her full capacity yet. But instinct did. The match continues. Traxus roared, his armor glowing red as he overloaded the exosuit's power core. "I don't care what trick that is, you're going down." He launched himself forward, plasma blade raised high. The ground shattered beneath him. The air warped with kinetic discharge. Astra simply exhaled. The shockwave was silent but catastrophic. Every molecule of air around her compressed, then expanded outward like a detonation. Traxus's charge stopped mid-stride. The exosuit buckled inward as though crushed by invisible fists. The lights flickered. The audience shielded their faces as a ripple of pressure blew across the arena. When it cleared, Traxus lay on the floor, armor cracked, unconscious. Astra remained standing, eyes calm, hands still at her sides. She had not moved. She hadn't even taken a step. The aftermath. The arena was silent for several long seconds before erupting into chaos. Medics rushed to Traxus. Instructors shouted into comms. The spectators, some awed, others terrified, couldn't decide if they'd witnessed a miracle or a weapon. Astra bowed slightly to her fallen opponent, then turned to leave the arena.